Is Yveltal going to be worth your time, energy, and resources in Pokemon Go to power up? I don't know, but we're about to find out. So with all that said, let's jump right in. Yveltal is back. Its shiny form is out, which makes it very exciting, very enticing to go after for raid bosses and for raid battles. But is it actually going to be worth getting 296 XL candy for this Pokemon from a meta attacker standpoint? How does it do in Go Battle League? And is it going to be worth your Stardust, which is precious, your money, which is more precious, and your rare candy, and your XL candy coming from the raid bosses to go after this Pokemon, not just to get the shiny form, but to try to get the hundo and then to try to power up this Pokemon? Let's find out right now. So this Pokemon is going to be a dark and a flying type Pokemon. It is going to max out at 4275, so it does go quite up there. It has an attack of 250, a defense of 185, and a stamina of 246. So attack, stamina, a little bit higher, defense, not so high. But looking at this Pokemon, there's not one stat that's really excelling that's going to be like, yes, definitely. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to be effective. According to Game Press, the 250 attack is going to be ranked 103 in Pokemon Go. The 185 defense is going to be ranked 216, and the stamina 246 is undefined, meaning that it's not really super highly ranked, but it is definitely not low at the same time. So this Pokemon is going to have 4 weaknesses, which are going to be rock, ice, fairy, as well as electric because of the dark and the combination with flying. This Pokemon is also going to have double resistance to 2 things, which is going to be ground as well as psychic. And it's going to single resist dark, ghost, and grass. So once again, if we're looking at PvP specific Pokemon, we really want them to have a myriad of resistances. Doesn't always have to be, but it really helps that cause. And so right now, not really hitting the best here for either of the categories, but that's still not going to stop us or hold us back because we need to know the answer. As far as its movesets, it gets Snarl, Sucker Punch, and Gust for its quick moves. And as far as its charge moves, it does get Hurricane, Focus Blast, Hyper Beam, Psychic, as well as Dark Pulse. So Dark Pulse is a very strong dark type move. So that is positive there. And it does get Snarl, which makes it charge pretty fast. So let's start checking out this Pokemon. We're going to look at DPS times TDO. DPS is damage per second. TDO is total damage output. And to see where this Pokemon does rank in the game against itself. And then we will rank it in the flying and the dark category. And then we're going to check it out in Go Battle League. So let's check out those stats. And then we'll also check it out in the flying category because it does get Gust and Hurricane, so it could be a viable flying type attacker as well. Let's check out the DPS times TDO, which is going to be damage per second times total damage output. Damage per second is 1 swift, bam, move. And then total damage output is over the lifetime of that Pokemon, how much damage is it going to do. We want to combine and smash those two together so we can get the optimal output. Okay, so for this Pokemon, at the top, Snarl and Hurricane is going to be the top producing moveset at 1867. Then we're going to get Snarl and Dark Pulse at 1865, not too much off there. We're going to get Psychic combination at 1775. Then we are going to get Hyper Beam combination at 1598 and downwards on this Pokemon. So right off the bat, 1875 and 1865 for flying as well as dark type combination. So if we look about this Pokemon, and you guys have followed my videos where we talk about the top attackers, if you haven't, you want to see some of the past ones, check out the top attacker playlist and go back and visit some of those videos because it's fun to see these Pokemon. So if we're looking at this one, typically when we're looking at viable meta attackers, it's going to be around 2,500 at least to break into the top 5. And if we're looking at something to excel depending on the category, it obviously differs, but it's usually looking at something around 3,000. And that this one is 1865, it's not starting at the best place. But that's not going to stop us yet because we want to know exactly where it does sit in the dark category starting right now. In the dark category at the top, we do have Mega Tyranitar at 4423 with Bite and Crunch, Mega Houndoom next 3556, Mega Gyarados, Bite Crunch 3162, Hydreigon with the Comday move of Bright and Brutal Swing at 3006. And after Hydreigon, we do have Shadow Tyranitar with Bite Crunch at 2705, Shadow Weavile, Ash Greninja, Mega Absol, Darkrai, Snarl and Dark Pulse at 2203, Shadow Honchkrow at 1897, and then in the 11th spot, we do have Yveltal with Snarl and Dark Pulse at 1865, followed by Shadow Houndoom, Snarl and Foul Play, Tyranitar, Zarude, Shadow Absol, Weavile, Shadow Shiftry, and Zoroark. Okay, so if we are looking at this, guys, just right off the bat, this is a legendary Pokemon, which does mean that inherently the XL candy comes at a premium to get this Pokemon, as opposed to something such as the Hydreigon, which was from Comday, which you should have more than enough XL candy, which is hitting much harder as a meta dark attacker, more than any of the other Pokemon that are non-shadows and non-megas. So why would you go after a legendary Pokemon that is going to cost a premium to pay for these XL candy? It's not really going to work out, right? I don't really see it working working out, it doesn't make sense to me. And from a meta attacker dark standpoint, I'm gonna say that the answer is no to power up, even though it is a very cool type Pokemon, because even Darkrai is better than this Pokemon. Okay, so looking beyond this, let's check it out in the flying category. In the flying category, we have Mega Rayquaza, 5,057, Shadow Moltres, 4,499, Mega Pidgeot, Shadow Ho-Oh, Shadow Honchkrow, Shadow Staraptor, regular Moltres, Ho-Oh, Rayquaza, and then Yveltal at the bottom at 1,750. So the Rayquaza is going to be at 1,807, the Ho-Oh is going to be at 1,944, and the Moltres is 2,503. So obviously, once again, we have the 11th and the 10th spot for this Pokemon. Is it worth your time, energy, and resources? From a meta attacker standpoint, the answer is going to be no, but that doesn't make it unviable to be able to raid for it to get at least level 40 or maybe to level 50 if it's worth its while in Go Battle League. So for the Ultra League, it is going to be ranked 272, which doesn't faze me too much because it is a legendary Pokemon, so that means that it can be better in the Master League because it doesn't reach its full potential. So in the Master League, it is actually going to be ranked 11 with XL Candy, with Snarl, Dark Pulse, and Focus Blast as the recommended moveset. You can even use some of its other moves if you do see fitting and how it does fit your team. But I am going to tell you guys that Snarl and Dark Pulse are going to charge pretty fast. It doesn't have quite as many resistances as I would like, but it does integrate to a team, and I do have one that I have used in Master League at times. So I'm just going to put that out there. If you guys do see it fitting, I would suggest fighting with it without unlocking a second charge move first and without powering it up first, and then seeing if you do like how fast it charges, and then battle against a couple buddies with level 20 legendaries so that you can kind of get the feel for where this Pokemon does battle at. And then if you like it, you can power it up, and then you can also use it as a meta attacker, even though you do have stronger ones in Pokemon Go. So if you don't like it in your team, my answer is no. Get the shiny, don't raid for the hundo, don't care about it, don't get the XL 296 candy, but at the same time, maybe it'll get a special move at some point and it could be viable. So, you know, do what you want, but as of right now, it is a no. And if it does get a special move, it will come back, and then you can raid for it then. But until then, be proactive, save your energy, your resources, your Stardust, your money, and go for that Hydreigon for the dark type attacker. Thank you guys for being here as always. To all my likers, commenters, subscribers, Patreon members, everybody takes your support, subscription, and participation to the next level. I'm gonna see you guys out on the next video. Peace.
I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.